Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Why Not Today podcast. Gosh, it's hard to believe we're on season 5. So today I'm going to talk about spring cleaning, more than closets. Spring clean your space, your systems, and your mind. I always start my episodes with a Why Not Today moment. And I think the moment was the other day walking with a friend and just talking about tech, more like subscriptions, things she was doing or paying for and needed to do. And I was giving her suggestions and idea, and she's like, and I said, it's just a stupid hint. She's like, no, it's not. That is your superpower. And so I thought, you know what? I think it is. Some of those things are making life a little easier. It's taken a while, but that's something I think that is definitely one of my strengths. So what I want to talk to you today is about spring cleaning. If you're listening to this in real time, it is March of 2026, although it doesn't feel like it. That's a whole nother subject. But spring was starting and it's a fresh season. There's fresh energy. And, I often think about spring cleaning your closets, cleaning out some stuff in your house. But there's so much more to this. And I shared last week's episode on collaboration, painting my bedroom, which led to decluttering. And it really led to seeing things differently, like looking at things around my house that, do I really need them? Um, do they really speak to me? Do they really give me joy? Was a lot of pink in my world because I am a sales director with Mary Kay and I've collected a lot of pink stuff. My niece asked me one time if that was my favorite color or why it was my favorite color. And I'm like, it really isn't. It just pays me well. And so there's so many things in my house that I've just collected and they're sitting there. And I looked at them like, why do I even have this? It might be broken. I did notice one thing. My sister and she was helping me in my room. She said, you have a lot of extension cords that are probably really old and fire hazards, which my luncheon last month was on being prepared. So I ordered some new extension cords and then figured out I don't need to have all these things plugged in. Why do I have them? And so it has opened my eyes in the last couple of weeks at just looking at things differently. So what started as a painting a wall turned into asking, why do I still have all of this? So let's reframe spring cleaning. Spring cleaning has 3 layers. It's your space, it's your systems, and it's your mind. So spring cleaning is not just about what you can see, it's about what is quietly taking up space in your life. I actually, a couple of years ago, my word of the year was space. And part of that was cleaning out space, creating new spaces, being present with people. And I think we have so much clutter in our mind and our life, it's hard to be present. Even thinking about our phones, if you got all those apps, it's hard to see past them. I've tried to put mine in little folders, but it's gotten out of control. That might need to be a project. Also, it's spring cleaning. Yes, there could be some cleaning. I have a friend of mine that had a business called Moving and Redecorating. She literally would take things around her house and move them and give them a new home, a new life. And one day she was over at my house for something. And I'm like, in 5 minutes, if you could change things in my house, what would you do? And she's looked around and she goes, girl, I'm coming back tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want you to move all your couches out, get rid of all the dust bunnies, and really deep clean before I come back. She goes, because that blocks your energy. You ever thought about that? So physical decluttering is important and cleaning. So we outgrow things. Don't serve us anymore. As I mentioned, the pink, letting go sometimes creates alignment. Marie Kondo, who is a famous organizer, she always asked, does it spark joy? Does it make you happy? If it doesn't, get rid of it. Research has actually shown that clutter has been shown to increase stress levels, which I can totally agree with, and clean environments improve focus and clarity. Have you ever cleaned off your desk and you just feel so much more powerful? I actually, just before I started recording this, I had a stack of business cards sitting on my desk that have been there for months. And I'm like, you know what? I am just going to spend, it didn't even take me long, going through them and put them in my CRM. And if I didn't remember who the person was, or there weren't a good match, as my friend Amber says, I just threw it away. And so there's a new empty space on my desk. It gives me so much joy. Like, get rid of some of those things that, it gives you more joy. It gives you more focus. It makes you more productive. And then the clean space actually creates clear thinking. Isn't that amazing? And then the next layer is system decluttering. And this is a power section that I'm going to talk about that really can make a big difference. Like, what systems have you been doing forever and ever that aren't serving you just because you've always done them? There's a famous pot roast story that this woman, her family from many generations, all made the pot roast the same way. They cut off the ends of the pot roast and put it in the pan. Well, somebody finally asked, like, why do we do this? And they're like, I don't know. And they asked some questions. Well, grandma did it because her pan was too small. So do you always do it the same way? And just thinking about that, my grandmother and mom made beef stroganoff in an electric skillet. I still have an electric skillet. And whenever I make beef stroganoff, I pull it out because that's the way you do it. Isn't that funny how we just start doing the same things because somebody else did, but we don't think about it. So think about the things as you do them. Why are you doing this? Just because you've always done them? Look at your systems, look at your routines, look at your subscriptions. And they also say that shaking things up and doing it different ways helps your brain. And so, instead of brushing your teeth with your right hand, brush it with your left hand. I often ask the question, like, when you're putting on your shoes in the morning, like tennis shoes, do you do sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe? Do you right first, left? I have a system. I put my socks on and then I put my shoes on and I go right to left. Somebody taught me when I first got contacts to start with your right eye. I always have. But do you really need to be doing it that way? So think about those things. And then think about subscriptions and places that are just kind of hidden and happening. I recently had a interaction with my banker. Something came up and he needed to reach out to me. And he's like, by the way, we have a new account or another account you could have exactly like your account, except for it has more features and you get free checks, which I was out of checks from one account. And so because I've been with this bank for a long time, I didn't know about it. And so that was able to save me some money and some time. Internet savings. Like, have you looked at your cell phone, your internet bill? What are things that you're paying for that you could renegotiate? I know, and it did take me some time and effort, but my internet last year, I switched from Xfinity to AT&T because it was cheaper, like $30 a month cheaper, which adds up. Well, then I found AT&T wasn't exactly what I wanted because I have AT&T phone. So I reached back out to Xfinity, and guess what? Because I was now a new customer, I could get their new rate locked in for 5 years, and it was $40 a month cheaper. And they get through in a modem for free. So sometimes it's worth calling, these companies, renegotiating what you have services. Cell phone, a friend of mine, I think I started talking about in the beginning, like her cell phone bill is way too high. I said, print it out. Let's look at it. Renegotiating XM radio, you should never be paying like more than $5 or $6 a month. And so many people just pay a ton of money. My friend was able to save $360 a year. Like, that's a big amount. So, and talking about your habits, James Clear always talks about habits run on autopilot, which is good, but sometimes you need to look at them again. So spring cleaning your systems might make you more money than cleaning your closet. But then also, let's go back to the physical decluttering. So sometimes, I talked to somebody the other day, what stops her from cleaning out her closet is she doesn't know where to do with all the stuff. Now, we hopefully are all being more smart and sustainable. My luncheon, if you're local to me, I host a monthly luncheon, and the one on March 26th is on sustainability. So my friend, Janine, who's speaking, really has got me thinking different thoughts around that. And so, it's so easy to just throw it away, but giving it away makes such a difference. So as I was cleaning and decluttering, I had old towels and old blankets and some towels that we used as painting cloths on the floor. And so somebody said, take them to a vet or a rescue. And so I just happened to be at a networking event this morning, and there was a couple there that have a nonprofit that helps. He has a plane. They fly to more rural areas and bring animals up here that might be euthanized. And so after the networking, I'm like, okay, I have a bizarre question. Do you need towels and towels and blankets? They're like, yes. I'm like, well, I'm parked out front. Come pick them up. And so I was able to get them out of my car because I was going to go find a place to donate them today. So, think about who can benefit from the things you have and just be a blessing to somebody else. So if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but where the heck do I even start? Well, I actually created something simple to help you take action right now, because why not today? And it's called the Why Not Today Spring Reset. And it's a worksheet that helps you choose one area to focus on, ask the right questions, and helps you take one clear action. And so if that's something that you would like, let me know. There's a link in the show notes. You can click on it and get a copy of the worksheet, because the goal is not to overhaul your whole life. It's to create momentum. And that's doing it one thing at a time. So you also might be thinking, okay, I know what to do and I've been talking about it forever, but I'm not doing it. And sometimes doing it on your own can be hard. And so that's why people get stuck. I know people that have held off starting a business or doing something major in their life because tech's slowing them down, or they're not sure exactly what to do. Sometimes we overthink things and it causes overwhelm and there's no accountability. So I actually created a new service called the Why Not Today VIP Action Session. It is literally 2 hours side by side with me if we're in person. If not, it'll be virtual, with your laptop open or whatever. And we're going to focus on getting basically stuff done. Say it another way, but I'm not going to. But it's just getting stuff done. What is holding you off? I was with a friend the other day who has a Ring camera and she doesn't get the alerts. And I'm like, where do they go? She goes, they may be going to my ex-husband. They may be going to my parents. I'm not sure. So those things that just slow you down that you know you need to take care of, and we just don't physically take time to do it. So we don't want to learn something else. So this is where the VIP action session comes in. I sit with you. We get this stuff done. You don't have distractions because we're working side by side. Your phone's away and you're just getting it done. And I've done this with a couple of people, me as a beneficiary and then helping other people. And they both helped me in both situations, but it just, when you have a commitment to the time, you get it done and you don't let the distractions jump in. So I'm only doing 4 spots a month. So it is super limited. So if it sounds like something you need, there's a link in the show notes to reach out to me and let's see if it's a good fit. All right. So now we're going to talk about the next thing, and this flows exactly right, is digital declutter. Oh my goodness. There's so much. Like, people can communicate with me way too many ways. And so I don't know about you guys, but I get overwhelmed. So there's inbox overwhelm, there's notifications, unused tools. And so what strategy can you put in place to clean this up? I literally just a month ago figured out my calendar, my emails, and so it's all going in the same place. It took some bumps, but it's working now. So, can you unsubscribe to emails? Can you set up rules that emails go into certain boxes? You don't see them. Look at the subscriptions, see if they're valid. Look at the apps on your phone. There are so many apps that I download that they aren't even valid. I need an airplane ride to clean out all those things. Pictures that probably need to be cleaned out. So there's lots of things that we just get overwhelmed with too much. I have boxes of physical pictures in my house that I need to go through. And the old days when we took pictures and they were all bad, or most of them were bad, and then we got 3 copies of them of somebody's ear. Well, that's a whole nother project. But think about digital declutter. Like, what can you do to just take a deep breath and that feels so good. So now the power of perspective. Sometimes you need to walk away and get a fresh look at things. So when you listen to this podcast, if you're listening in real time, I am at the beach and it's not warm. It's not sitting on the beach. It's actually probably cold. But I need to get away. And I purposely started this years ago. It's called my Toes in the Sand Tour, where I take time off every month and go somewhere. And sometimes it's vacation and sometimes it's just escaping by myself. So my puppy dog and I are going to the beach. We're meeting some friends for lunch on the way there and we're heading for the beach. And it is for fill my cup, first of all, to put my toes in the sand, even if it's cold, I will walk down to the beach. But it's also just to get a new perspective, to get away from the life clutter as I'm uncluttering things here. And it's time to get some deep work. So if you've been following me at all, I've been using index cards a lot. And so I have an index cards of projects I want to get done at the beach. And it's a new environment. It gives you clarity. And so I encourage you to find your version of the beach, whether it's if you can't escape for a few days like I am, can you go to a coffee shop, a park? Another place is a hotel. There's so many beautiful hotel lobbies. Just go bring your laptop and work there and turn your phone off. Have some deep work time. I know for me, even just getting in the car and going somewhere, it opens up my mind to new ideas. So sometimes the most productive thing you can do is step away so you can actually see things more clearly. So time plus space equals clarity. So we're all busy, but it's not intentional. That drives me crazy when people ask how you are and you're like, I'm busy. I don't like that word. My life is full, but we need to make time to think, not just do. So I know I'm all about why not today and getting stuff done, but you got to take time to fill your cup and think about things. So spring cleaning includes creating your space, creating your time, and slowing down. There's an organizer I'm following recently, and her company is Organized 365. And she's like, as household managers or all the stuff we have to do in life, we try to get them done quicker and do things, but do these things, be more efficient so you can enjoy your life more because life is too short. The mission of Why Not Today is live your life, like live your life. And that really came to fruition with me when I lost a good friend a couple of years ago. And it really made me realize I want to live my life. So live your life, be brave, and pursue your dreams. So my Why Not Today spring reset, I'm going to challenge you to, is choose one area. Ask, does this serve me today? Why am I still doing this? Is there a better way? And take one action, get support. And as you know, grab an index card, one thing, not everything. What are you doing? So maybe just do a brain dump and get it all on index cards. And then what can you do today? You don't have to do it all. You do not need a full life overhaul, as I say. You just need one decision that creates momentum. And spring cleaning is not about perfection. It's about making space for what's next. So I'll ask you, what's one thing you can clean out today and why not today? So thank you for listening to another episode of the Why Not Today podcast. And if this serves you, share it with a friend, like it, review it. And if you want to know anything more about Why Not Today, you can find out everything about Why Not Today movement, or the website is whynotdaymovement.com. And from courses to events to inner circle lateral coaching program to the new Why Not Today VIP action session. Let me know how I can support you. And as always, I always close with just asking the one question, why not today? Thanks. Bye.